It has just been announced when they will start filming the next Jurassic movie, and I am worried. Hello everyone and welcome to another video with the latest news on the upcoming Jurassic film. Jurassic 7 or Jurassic World 4. Until we have an actual title, it's a bit awkward to figure out what to call it. We don't know much about the movie so far. All we really know for sure is that David Koepp is writing it, Gareth Edwards is directing it, and we will be watching it on July 2nd, 2025. I think that date has given many of us a bit of anxiety when it was announced, even before a director had been locked in. July next year feels close for a big blockbuster, and it is. In this video, I'll be comparing the schedule for Jurassic World 4 with some other entries in the franchise, as well as the timetable that Godzilla was on, and yeah, I am concerned. The Film and Television Industry Alliance has posted the shoot date for the film, that being July 31st, 2024. That is when the cameras start rolling. That is 4 months away from now, during which the movie has to go through all of its pre-production. Thankfully, pre-production does already seem to be well underway. They have a dinosaur consultant in Steve Broussard, who also consulted on Jurassic World Dominion. Apparently some dinosaur designs are already underway, and the script by David Koepp is said to be far enough along and in a well-liked shape. With shooting set to begin at the end of July, it won't be long until we start hearing news on which actors have been cast for all the running and screaming. To stay up to date on all of the latest news about the upcoming film, as well as interesting discussions and more, subscribe to the channel and come geek out with the rest of us. Before I delve more into how this shooting date compares to the schedules of some previous films, I want to note that the shooting location is reported to be Los Angeles, California. It seems likely that this refers to the Universal Studios lot, where past installments have also done much of their staged shoots. After all, a lot of stuff is not shot on location. I don't really think that them shooting in Los Angeles means necessarily that the film is taking place in Los Angeles. But I want to talk about the shooting date, how that relates to the scheduled release date, and importantly, how it compares to other films. There is an 11-month gap between the start of principal photography on July 31st this year and the release date on July 2nd next year. Obviously, that's not an impossible stretch of time in which to shoot, edit, possibly reshoot, score, and add CGI. But most of us, I think, can already feel in our gut that it's not the most luxurious amount of time. And that becomes even clearer in comparison to other relevant films. I'm not going to compare it to Dominion's production because that was interrupted and hampered by the COVID outbreak. However, I think the other two Jurassic World films are very representative in this case, as well as Gareth Edwards' big breakout movie, and the reason why many of us are so excited for him to direct, Godzilla. Let's look at Jurassic World first. The movie, the start of the new trilogy, released in June of 2015. Principal photography took place from April to August 2014. Breaking that down into the number of months, the shooting lasted 5 months, and then the film went into post-production for another 9 months before release. A total of 14 months between the start of shooting and the release date. That's 3 months longer than the 11 months that Jurassic World 4 has. Another example is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This filmed from February to July in 2017 and released in June 2018. That means they had 6 months to shoot and 10 months for post-production, a total time of 16 months. 5 months longer than what Jurassic World 4 has. This paints a clear picture of just how tight the time frame is for the upcoming movie. If you pull up the dates for Godzilla, that picture really doesn't change. Principal photography lasted from March to July 2013, and the movie release May 2014. 5 months to film, 10 months post-production. It's impossible to say how long shooting will take for the upcoming Jurassic film, but only if shooting takes no more than 2 months, much less than the shooting time of the other films I mentioned, less than half even. Only if it takes no more than 2 months will it have a comparable amount of time left for post-production. And post-production is really important on a movie that will undoubtedly feature a lot of CGI. Again, it is not impossible to deliver a good film on this tight schedule, but it just doesn't fill me with confidence. And I really don't think they will delay the movie to give themselves more time to perfect it if needed. 2025 is the year Jurassic World celebrates its 10th anniversary, which the studio seems to want to celebrate by launching the new era. Possibly even more importantly though, is that there's a reason big summer blockbusters are a thing. Movies like this tend to release a lot in summer when you can count on large numbers of people being on vacation and having the spare time needed to see your 2-hour movie, perhaps more than once. And July 2nd is right before the extra long 4th of July weekend, which is a big box office weekend in the United States. Again, because people, in this case an entire country all at once, has spare time that they might be persuaded to spend on your movie. And spend their money on your movie as well, of course. It just seems very likely to me that they are set on this release date to maximize their profits. I don't see them pushing it to later in the year, and I also don't see them pushing it a full year to push it to the next summer. So my concern is not that the movie will be delayed. I'd be surprised if it gets delayed. My concern is that the release date will loom over production like an incredibly tight deadline, and that if anything threatens to stand in the way of them making that deadline, they might cut corners to speed up the process. Like maybe not do a reshoot but do bad ADR instead, or maybe not spend as much time on a CGI shot as needed to get it to look photorealistic. Heck, if they put the pressure on the shooting to give themselves as much time as possible in post-production, there could be cases of an actor only having a couple of takes to deliver a scene, and if those takes weren't great, well, too bad, we have to move it along. Really, at the moment, it's the only official information on the movie that makes me a little worried. I know a lot of people are already worried based on like past installments in the franchise, but I'm pretty optimistic about it. You know, the fact that David Koepp is returning to write and Gareth Edwards is directing, yeah, that makes me personally optimistic. I just hope that they'll stick the landing and not be forced to rush things. Now, there are some rumors floating about that do add to my concern. This is all unconfirmed information that I'm just tacking on at the end here. But for example, one of the things that is floating about is that it will be a prequel. This is something that a lot of you guys are open to. For me personally, I would find that quite disappointing, quite a waste of potential, like what the World trilogy has been building up to. And there's another bit of information, again another unconfirmed rumor, that there are location scouts heading to Kauai, an island of Hawaii, to find a shooting location for the upcoming movie. And that sort of supports the other rumor of it being a prequel. You know, a return to Kauai could possibly mean a return to Isla Nublar, which of course has been destroyed, or perhaps a return to Isla Sorna that the Jurassic World trilogy has sort of forgotten about. That is all unconfirmed, so I don't want to give too much weight to that by talking about it, but I did want to mention and point out that distinction. The official news so far is, in my opinion, mostly optimistic and makes me hopeful. There's just some unofficial stuff added onto the pile that, if I were to take that into consideration, makes me a little bit more concerned. Let me know what you think in a comment down below and give the video a like on your way down. Thank you for watching, and I'm sure I'll be back soon with more news on the upcoming Jurassic film.